All right. Today we're going to look over one of the games from our last match. Now, usually, I don't think that there's a point in VOD reviewing a total stomp, but in instance, I think we can get something of value. Because rather than just focusing on, well, what did we do right, what did we do wrong, we're going to think a little about what did both teams do right, what did both teams do wrong. So that way we can try and steal from them and see what they did well and take it for ourselves. So to start with, on this map, just kind of some like broad strategy things. For first point, there's two different approaches that you can take that are valid. There is the one that ends up happening in the game, where both teams are going to fight on this coast area. And this is probably the best option. But the other option is to instead try and fight around this high ground. Maybe have some people go over here, but to probably put like your tank up here, maybe someone on this angle, and kind of spread out a little bit. And this option is good if the enemy team is going to try and do something similar. If they're going to fight on like the payload area or on the high ground as well, pushing high ground is good. But the problem is if you push this way and the whole enemy team pushes coast, they're going to have a big advantage because they're going to be able to easily walk in on this high ground. They're going to have easy access to wrap around to whatever angle they want. It's just going to be really hard to beat them if the whole team goes on coast. So even though if the enemy team doesn't go coast, you going coast isn't really going to be as strong. The danger is that if you don't go coast and they do, you're probably going to lose the fight. So I would say, in general, it is best to push coast first fight. That was kind of a word jumble, so hopefully that all makes sense. But essentially, if you both go coast, that's kind of just how fights are usually going to play out. If one team goes coast and the other team doesn't, the team that goes coast probably wins. But yeah, we can get started and watch the actual fight play out now. Now, yeah, both teams here do wrap around the coast. Actually, wait, they don't. Oh, they did. I guess I forgot. But we did the right thing by pushing out the coast. So their ball here, he actually engages a little bit too early. He did not have the support from the rest of his team, so he's going to get forced out for kind of no reason here. So that was a mistake that they made. This Cat Bastion is going to be scary. Hopefully we can deal with it. And kind of here, I think that Jude didn't quite get the memo that the rest of the team was backing up, so he lingered a little bit too long in the open space. He had to get back sooner. But the rest of the team here, Cat Bastion is just good on this map, especially on this first point, because out here is just like so brutal to shoot from us Cat Bastion. So I mean, if there's a map to play it on, it might be this one. Super effective for Cat Bastion. And then pairing that with a ball is really good. Ball pairs well with Cat Bastion because Cat Bastion demands a lot of resources and Ball demands very little resources. So the ball can kind of just do his own thing, and the Cat Bastion can do their own thing, and the supports don't really have to worry too much about helping the ball. They can focus on helping the Cat Bastion. So this fight should just be simple cleanup. But so now that we know that they're going to be on Cat Bastion and Ball, we kind of know what their comp is. What do you guys think, like, the adjustment we should make is? How should we counter that? Haven.
Hello. As far as hero picks, correct?
Hero picks or gameplay choices. How do you play versus Cat Bastion Ball? What's the solutions?
Mm. I can only speak for myself in that I'm saving chain for largely for pile drives.
Sure. That's a good way, yeah. Mizuki's chain can you be used to counter the ball? That's good. What can the
Outside,
whole team do? Can anyone give me an idea? Cass, yeah, Cass is another good hero pick. He's very effective versus it.
target probably the biggest thing is target priority.
In what way?
Well, that we're focusing on any particular target, whether that
Hmm.
be the cat or that be the bastion or that be the ball, because when some people are looking at the cat bastion and some people are looking at the ball, they're just gonna blow us all apart by splitting us up.
Yeah, important. Having like the whole team focusing on target is important. And when it comes to fighting a cat bastion, deciding whether or not to shoot the cat or the bastion is important. You don't want half the people shooting bastion, half the people shooting cat. It needs to be a really focused effort because both are hard to kill in the air. Um, but the big thing that the team can do, regardless of what hero picks to do, like picking more hit scan, picking more anti-dive characters is good. But the other thing that the team can do is just focus on playing in rooms and cover more often. So if you're out in the open, like
Sure,
in this sort of space,
sure.
you're very vulnerable to cat bastion. If you're kind of in this sort of area here, though, where you're in a high ground in a cover, cat bastion is not that much of a threat to you. So trying to prioritize playing in rooms is super important versus this kind of comp.
Question.
Yeah,
Does that mean you want to play more poke as well?
kinda, yeah. Generally, the strategy versus the cat bastion is to play more hit scan and kind of pokey. Or mirroring cat bastion yourself, which is the other way to do it. You just play their same comp. Which if you're good at it too, you can. But if you're not good at it, you'll probably
I
get beat doing that.
I will say our roster on this map, we don't have a particularly great cat option, and I don't. I mean, Derek could probably play Bastion,
Yeah, no, I mean we
but yeah,
again, if you're not good at it, don't trim your it.
yeah.
But yeah, so that would be kind of the ideas of countering their strategy is playing more hit scan and anti-dive characters, playing in rooms more often. I already spoke about this briefly after the match, but swapping to Mauga here is not really the solution. Even though on paper it kind of seems like it, because you think, well, Mauga, his thing is shoot tank, right? And ball, a big fat tank, just shoot the ball. The problem is that's what the ball wants. The ball wants the tank to be wasting his time shooting the ball. The ball wants the tank to be chasing him around. And so if Mauga's doing that, you're just kind of feeding into what the ball wants, and the rest of the team can kind of do what they want freely. Because the Mauga's almost never going to kill the ball. So Jude staying on Doomfist would have made more sense there, because Doom is, for one, better at countering ball. The punch is a lot more effective against ball than Mauga's slam. And then also, the Doomfist is able to keep up with the pace that the ball sets, whereas the Mauga is going to be dramatically too slow to keep up.
Well, and
Um,
there's really no good target for the Maga to slam because everybody
yeah, that too.
has an escape or has mobility.
Yep, yep. Anran is probably the best thing, but even she can just use her E and avoid it.
Yeah,
So yeah, Mauga is he's just not gonna have a good slam target. Hitting the ball, he's too fast. He'll just roll out of it. And then of course these guys, good luck.
yeah. And you can build a little bit of alt charge by lighting them on fire, but yeah, you're not gonna do much other than tickle them.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that Doom is better here, or something like Domina could be good. Maybe Sigma. I feel like Domina's a little bit better into cat bashing because you can shoot him down. But yeah, if I were Jude, or if I were talking to Jude in this moment, I would say I'd recommend picking Domina or Doomfist instead. But we can play out the fight again.
Hey, sorry I'm a little late. What match is this?
This was from our tournament match the other night.
Okay, cool.
This was the closest game that we had.
It's actually the third.
All right. So right now, their ball is doing something really, really, really good here. So with our comp, we have no way of contesting a ball on this high ground. None of our characters can effectively force him out without having to rotate very slowly to get up here. And if we do that, we're getting exactly what we want. We're just making the space. And he noticed that this high ground, this very important high ground, is completely unoccupied, so he's just going to take it for himself. And if we look at the space that their team controls now, remember, Rolls, I don't have my pen on this computer, so I can't draw it. But if we were to imagine the space bubbles here and how this would look, like their bubble is like almost swallowing ours here, and this Cat Bastion's about to run through their team out in the open. So what we need to do differently here is set up some people on this high ground, like a Mizuki plus like a Sierra or something up here could be great. Mizuki would defend against the ball with a chain. The Sierra can pressure the Cat Bastion up here. But out here in the open on the low ground, this is like the worst case scenario for our team here.
Yeah.
We give ball free reign to the most powerful angle on the map. We give the Cat Bastion free reign to mow us down while we're out in the open with no cover.
The
Even though,
TLDR
like,
here is we aren't countering anything right now.
no, we're not effectively countering their comp. We're playing into their hand right now perfectly.
Yeah.
And then these guys over here probably being a little bit passive. You could probably push up a little bit more on an angle, but they don't really have to engage yet because they can just kind of wait for the payload. The ball can bait attention. The Bastion can be kind of a blockade. They don't have to engage until we make a mistake. Although I do anyways. And they pay for it. They engaged too early there. They did not have to. The ball could have stayed up here and waited and just baited attention until the payload got to a point, or the payload, the pushback got to a point where, the fight was actually starting to happen with their backline. These people were too far behind, so the ball gets forced out, their Bastion dies. They do get a pick out of it, but they turned a basically completely won fight into a fight that's pretty even right now because they engaged too early. Now here our Sierra kind of overextends a little. We need to be playing on the high ground more, pushing up that deep, as the Sierra is just too dangerous versus these kind of characters. You can see what they're doing now is they're doing a good job of just applying a slow and even pressure. Throughout this whole bit of fight here, I'll go back a little bit more to when does their Bastion die? Alright. So from here, their team they don't do anything crazy. They don't rush in super fast. I mean, the ball kind of does. That's just what ball is. But they don't take any big risks. They don't do anything crazy. The cat gets low, the cat runs away. The ball gets low, the ball kind of runs away. They just slowly are creeping forward. And look how much space they won. They won all of the space up to here just by slowly pushing without taking any risks. And now Jude kind of makes a mistake here. He pushes a little bit too far. He's going to get isolated and killed. Yeah, those kind of slow, even pressure is super duper useful, especially with dive comps. You might think of dive as being like the, rush, you gotta go super fast, all in, all out. But you don't always have to. If you have the space advantage, if you have numbers advantage, you don't need to take any big risks. You can just apply slow, even pressure and just kind of slowly take the space away. And now here, Cat Bastion's gonna go around this way. Now they're able to do this because they had free reign of this angle. Should we have had somebody here? I don't know. This is kind of a hard angle for our team to be contesting at this point in time. In theory, yes, because they're going to go here, but if they don't go here, we might just be kind of silly out in the open there. I think it's just kind of a deal of it's just really hard to defend against.
I think it's a case of you just got to be conscious that that's a possibility and kind of be checking your flank.
Yeah. They're probably going to get there, but avoid being surprised by it. If the cast, he can turn around and hit a silver bullet. I don't think he has to yet, but if he could hit some shots on the cat, that could help us. Yeah, I don't think we could have set anyone up over here because they'd just get overrun.
Mm-hmm.
Which is something to keep in mind. If we get the payload, pushback, I keep calling it payload, up to this point, our team can start to push this angle. If we have characters that are both fast and long range, so like a Sojourn or a Soldier pushing through here, or obviously Cat Bastion, pushing through here, the enemy team cannot realistically do anything to stop it until we're already like on the deep angle behind them. So if we're on the attacking side here, this is a great angle to utilize. we just get overrun from behind due to that Cat Bastion on the angle and the ball running through us. Count the fact they had a huge space advantage there. Yeah, here, just die quickly or get out. Alright, so they are down 2. And they're going to be down for this fight. So it's going to be important of how their team's going to play this. They cannot take an engagement. They're going to have to play very passively. Which you can see that the ball's doing. He's just kind of chilling on a cart. He's not engaging. The Bastion and Cat, they are not engaging. They're just chilling up there in the high ground.
I never knew that the bomb thing shows up in gameplay.
Yeah, it's kind of silly how it looked there. Unfortunately missed the cage, but caging there was the good idea. If you could catch the ball or the on-run in there, that would have been a fight winner. So the idea in the cage was fine. Yeah, really good catnap from them.
This ends now.
Now ulting here, Derek is just... We'll get another fight. We have time to touch this again, so we didn't have to burn an ult there like it is the last fight. We get one more chance. And now we can see actually that at this current moment, our team does not look too bad as far as our positioning goes. This is a threat, but we have people actively dealing with the threat. And currently nobody else is. The Onron could become a threat shortly. The ball could become a threat shortly. But the Kiriko's kind of in Narnia. And these guys are going to get poked out. So right now, we're doing pretty dang decently. And we killed our Bastion. Great. And the cage here, again, we don't catch anyone with it. But the idea is still fine. And even not catching one with it, this cage is still going to give us good value. Or wait, this isn't cage, this is...
That's Sanctuary.
Okay. It looks the same. Alright, but still, okay, Sanctuary works. Sanctuary is better than cage here because it heals you. Professional Overwatch coach, by the way. And we win the fight. Their ball does silly ball things,
Yeah,
but...
and I'm like, what is this ball doing?
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. He wasted a little bit of time and he's going to live for it. That's a good thing to do. If you're playing a character like Ball, I think no one else can do it like Ball does. So realistically, if you're playing Ball, you can stall the point by yourself as long as you have your cooldowns and just get away with it. If we were... I mean, he was risking getting chained, to be honest. If we hit the chain, he might have died for it. So it is a bit of a gamble if you're playing into a Mizuki, but without a counter like that, it's a good strategy.
It might have been on cooldown and you might have known that.
Yeah. So here, we have a big problem. Our team is not controlling angles here at all. We are all stacking on main here, and we're going to get completely overrun by the Cat and the Soldier on the side. The ball can go wherever he wants. The on-run Kiriko are set up here. This fight, we're walking into a death trap here. We need to be having players pushing this way when we get to the payload at this point in time. And somebody going this way, like the Cassidy is, this is good too. We want to fight for this. So we kind of want to take a three-pronged approach, kind of like what they're doing right now. They have the Kiriko up here. The Onron, she could go either way. The Ball, he could go this way or this way. But the Soldier and the Cat are going to fight for this angle. So they are going to play from those three angles effectively. Our team is kind of effectively only controlling one. We're slightly controlling the left angle and slightly controlling the right angle, but pretty much we're all on main. Soldier Cat get behind us, and very quickly taking a ton of damage from this crossfire. Our Bastion manages to live, but he's demanding all of the resources from the supports here, and that should lead to the rest of our team falling apart shortly. Our Cassidy is overextended.
Do you think Derek being on Bastion is the right call right now?
I wouldn't really think so, to be honest. Bastion by itself isn't perfect here. He would do fine on like Emre or Sojourn. I think he was on Sierra before, or maybe Alessandro was on Sierra. I don't know who's on Sierra, but
It's on
either
Soj,
like
I thought.
Emre or
Soj.
yeah, if he was on Sojourn, I think that's probably better. Bastion, playing Bastion solo versus Cat Bastion is not really great. He has been making it work. He was kind of been diffing their Bastion, to be honest. They switched to Soldier, which is going to now counter us even more. But yeah, our team doesn't really have the support for Bastion. Bastion demands a lot of healing. We have a fairly low healing comp. We can't keep up with that, especially with a Mauga who also demands a ton of healing.
Like, in theory, I could go cat here, but I think really it should be the Mia going.
Yeah, I mean, no one needs to go cat. Alright, there's the other cage that missed. This one's unfortunate. It was just a bit too early in the fight. But the ball does feed conveniently. Now they're gonna back up. So Jude is pushing in here, and normally this would be overextending how far he's from the rest of the team, but with the enemy team's positioning, they can't punish it, so this is actually fine. I would ideally like to see us getting good map control, though. So here we're shooting an enemy team, that feels nice, but at this point in time, they're not going to let us kill them. They're just going to run away. So we need to fight for map control. We need to be fighting to get this high ground. We need to be fighting to get this high ground. Rest of our team should be pushing up as quickly as we can. Obviously, we don't have mobility like a Mauga, but yeah, map control is more important. This space down here doesn't really give us anything useful. See here in this fight, we are again getting overrun from the same thing the last few fights have been. Is just, I mean, that's what I was saying. We needed to get map control, but we didn't get the map control, and so the on-run runs through us in the back line. The cat and the Kiriko get on the high ground. The ball runs through us. They just completely out control us on the map. And now Amago is trying to take the space, and that's good, but he's just too slow. But he's kind of irrelevant up here now. We didn't need to use the ult there, the fight was lost anyways. They wasted rush as well though, to be fair, so we traded, I guess. Alright, so from that game, I'll ask you guys, what things can we take away from that game?
I'm going to start off by saying angles.
Fighting for angles better. They did a great job of it. We didn't do a very good job of it. We were stacking on main a lot, and it led to them having a very easy job wrapping around the angles and kind of crushing us. What other things can we take away from that game?
Better unified target priority.
Yeah, that target priority could help. There were a fair few occasions where our target priority was kind of split. I wasn't focusing on that too much. I was more so focusing on the positioning and broader macro stuff, but target priority is important, especially against ball and especially against Cat Bastion. If you have them both together, it's really important. Both Cat Bastion and ball thrive off of uncoordinated target priority.
Well,
Anything else we can take away from that match?
Yeah. Well, and especially with the Cat Bastion, you can be like in the middle between the cat and the Cat Bastion and the ball, and you're looking in two different directions. So they're just splitting your focus.
Yeah. That's what fighting for angles is from. If you're already on the angle and they're on the angle with you, you only got one direction to worry about. If you're not on the angle and they're both on the angle, now you got two to worry about. What else can we take away?
Understanding how to counter more.
Yeah, some better ideas of counter picks. Counter picking is, whether you love it or hate it, an important thing in Overwatch. I hate it because I only play one character. But most of you guys do have diverse hero pools, and knowing how to use that is important. And um, a good hero pick can completely 180 a match. You can be getting bodied, and then you switch from Pharah to Soldier, and then you start winning. And
Okay,
so
okay.
understanding what character to play in what situation can make a big difference.
Okay, with that said, Seth, you have a pretty good idea of what our hero pools are. Within the scope of our hero pools, what would you have recommended within the scope of our hero pools?
In our hero pools, what would I have done? Let me go here to when we're playing versus Cat Bastion. So what I would have done is I would have put you on Mizuki is good
Okay.
here.
Okay.
Nicole on, well,
Just
she got Juno banned. So her on
Juno
Wu
was
Yang.
banned, yeah.
Yeah, so her on Wu Yang is fine. And Wu Yang's better than Juno anyways, but she's always better at Juno. Cassidy is great here. Cassidy is the right pick. Sojourn, or I would probably put Derek on Emre.
Yeah.
I think Derek on Emre is better here. Emre's, they're both kind of comparable in survivability. It's hard to say who's more survivable than the other, but Emre just being a pure hit scan is going to be better at dealing with the Cat Bastion, and Emre's ultimate is, in my opinion, the stronger of the two compared
Yeah.
to Sojourn.
Yeah.
I guess Sojourn, I think, is in theory stronger if you have perfect aim, but realistically, we
That's
don't
like
have
a
perfect.
high. Yeah, no. That's like
Yeah,
a
I
high
think
elo
that
thing.
for our level, Emerald can outperform it a little bit, especially with big fat characters like a Bastion to shoot at. And then Jude, I would put on Domina.
Yeah.
I would put Jude Domina, and then we would have Emre Cass, Mizuki, and Wu Yang. We would kind of be playing to kind of try and kill the ball when he's in and poke out the Cat Bastion so they can't engage. The on-run would be a little bit difficult to deal with. It's going to be kind of one of those things where either Cassidy hits the flashbang, or if she tries to go onto the Emre can use his pistol and run away and try and avoid it. And then hopefully she has her cooldowns burned. She has to disengage, and we can kind of push in after that. It would be hard regardless. Ideally, what we would do is we would mirror Cat Bastion Ball and fight them back on the same way, and just be better at them than that. But
Yeah.
they're a Masters GM team. We aren't, and we don't really play those characters, so it's not going to
I
work for
know it's
us.
not in Nicole's hero pool, but I think Kiri would have been good here too. Like
Kiri could have been good here.
Kiri Mizuki.
Yeah, Kiri could have been good here. Wu Yang's not terrible. He's just kind of vulnerable to dive.
Yeah.
All right. I think we'll do another replay. Let me grab another one. We will look at a Circuit Rail game.
Oh, you're at 888.
On time?
No, your level, your profile level.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, there's no way that was only.
No.
Yeah, that's not even a time. That's not even how that works.
Your profile level is at 888.
Gotcha. All right, Circuit Royale. Everyone hates this map, and if you like it, you're weird. But it is a map that does make you approach the game in a different way. So for first point, this is probably the most brutal point in the whole map, because it's just like this choke is so oppressive. But there are a few ways you can mitigate that. One really good way to mitigate that is Cat Bastion up here. Cat Bastion is the theme of the day, I guess. Theme of the whole season, realistically. But it is good to put a Cat Bastion up here to pressure this angle, or a Pharah up here to pressure this angle, or an Echo. Anyone who can fly in the air and apply good pressure from here is going to help a lot with this. The idea of taking like the whole team over the wall and like doing some crazy shenanigans like that is not really a good strategy. It might work because you might catch them off guard, but the problem with that is that once you go in, it is an all-in commitment. You have no way of getting out once you go over the wall here. And so I think it is too dangerous to really push over the wall. with like a holding commitment. Maybe like a Doomfist could do it potentially if he like stalled. Even that, I don't know if he's actually fast enough. I think maybe the only character that could get away with this is like Ball. So he'll just live. Other than that, though, we need people to pressure main. This angle can be good if they're playing where the Sigma is. If they're not, this angle is a little bit of no man's land. And then this is a great spot. If you can get through either through this building, through the building, using the cover, getting around over to here, this is a great way to get to the high ground with like a closer range character. Something like a Genji can get through here, or like a Reaper, or like a Matra maybe. Super useful spots. This high ground is not the best because we just have no cover up here really. Like you kind of get cover if you drop back this way, but that's a long way to go and you can still kind of get poked at. You got to go all the way back over here. That's a long distance to go from being in cover versus being out. This high ground is just not very useful as far as attacking goes. As far as defending goes, I mean, setting up on here, really good. It's pretty simple. You just set up on the high ground. Setting up on this spot can work on defense. It can, but you can easily be contested and forced out, and it's just kind of too dangerous most of the time. I would say this high ground is not worth using for either team, generally speaking. Also on
Okay.
defense, fighting this angle can be useful as well if you're like a Reaper or a Venture. Go ahead, Cody.
I was just gonna say there may be a couple hero specific stuff, like maybe like a sim or something like that, but that maybe only in very niche cases
Yeah.
on defense.
I think if you come here with an ult, you can get away with it. Like if you're a Sojourner
Yeah.
up here with an ult, you can do it. Emery up here with an ult, you can do it. But
Yeah.
just by yourself, normally,
Yeah.
like it's just too easy to get forced out on
Yeah.
either side.
Yeah.
All right, let's see how the fight plays out.
5,
I would say that their Sigma playing here is probably unnecessary.
attackers incoming.
I don't think that you have to play that corner Sigma. I think you could play further back. It's just more suitable for that character's range. But playing that corner, is it bad? Not really. It's still fine. So we do push this angle. And we're going to see he's going to get a lot of time getting spent poked out because, again, there's just no cover here. Pushing through here as Domina, I don't hate the idea, to be honest. Take the fight with the Sig in this kind of range. It's better than having the whole team shooting at you. If this is fine, we just need someone to help. We have the Ana here, so it's okay. Sojourner gets left alone and dies, unfortunately. But yeah, this is honestly not too bad for our first fight push here. But this angle here, we see they get poked out, they get forced out, don't really get very much value from there. And allocating a whole Mercy to join the angle as well, for it to be getting no value, is kind of painful.
I remember early on in this match, Jude was just taking a ton of damage, and I was just pumping heals, and I ended up with like 3k heals in the first minute and a half of this match.
Actually crazy, huh?
I was just healing, and wasn't getting anywhere.
That's kind of just the nature of the map, though. It's just open. You're gonna take a lot of damage. Okay, put the shield so we can walk in. This is fine. So I like this angle better here for Emre. This is kind of a nicer high ground because we have the cover. This is good. Alternatively, we could get saucy with it if we get the space. We can't do it right now, but if we get the space, we could get saucy with it and push up here, and that could be fine. But right now, where we are is probably the best. I just worry about this Genji getting kind of free reign to the backline here. It's going to be a little bit rough with the characters that we have. We should probably get something like a Cassie to deal with him. Because he's really running the lobby right now. He's fighting for the angles so well. So we see Sojourn going onto this high ground now. So we might not know she's here, although I think we actually do. So when we see somebody on the defending team going up here, we immediately need to recognize, for one, how many people it is or how dangerous it is. So like a Sojourn, that's just one DPS, that's not very dangerous, especially one long range DPS. Not dangerous. If it's like a Winston up here, that might be more dangerous. If it's like a Mercy and a Sojourn, that's a bit more dangerous. But right now, just one character, not dangerous. So all we need to do is make it an easy win for us. Send a DPS and a support. Go up there, wipe it out. Or send a tank, wipe it out. But in the situation, sending the Emray and the Mercy up here would be good. Earlier, I said this high ground isn't really good, and that's true. But if there's somebody up here, it's only not good because they can get forced out easily. So take the time to go up here, force them out, deal a lot of damage to them, make her burn her slide out in the open space. Maybe you get the pick. At the very least, you alleviate the space disadvantage a bit. But I think that what's going to happen is we don't really pressure it very well. We kind of all stay on main. A little bit of poke through, but not any actual commitment to fight it. Oh, maybe we are going to have to fight it now. That's what we try, but it's not enough people now because it's changed a little bit. The Genji's up here now too. And so just the one person out in the Mercy pocket might not be quite enough. I think it is still going to work, actually.
I think I was even poking at the Soj at this point.
Yeah, poking from afar can help, but we need people up here.
Yeah.
Now with the Emra and the Mercy, with the Genji gone, this is probably going to work. We've seen the Mercy here a little bit earlier, but it actually did work out in our favor still, so it's fine. Sojourn's forced out. Good. We made our space. This angle again, not ideal for Emra, but because the Sojourn was here, this was still the right play to force her out. We just gotta enjoy our space advantage and just kind of chill a little bit up here because we can't commit very hard because there's that Genji lurking. Their Sigma is a bit out of position now, and he should get forced out, and he does. Alright, we now are in the best position we've been in the entire game. This is great for us. We clear the Sojourn off his high ground, got the space. This middle overextended, we cleared him out, got the space. We have the shield placement in here, nice, cutting off the circulation to the rest of the team. This is pretty good. Maybe a tad forward because the Sigma is going to walk through this quickly, but we have a good space here. We don't have an advantage yet, but we have more space. And now is the time where we should be looking to put some people up here. Once you get access to this space, you want to put people through that path. So the Emra and Mercy, they can start to go through here. They might get poked a little bit on the way, but they should be fairly safe doing it. Our Sojourn needs to be pushing up a little bit more.
I was playing around the corner because I was waiting for my passive regen because I wasn't getting heals.
Yeah, I'd probably walk through here. So you get access to the health pack and you get access to the cover. I would walk through there. Hopefully you do that. Looks like we don't.
I just let it.
Now they use their ult. We force that out. That's good. It's gone. Ooh, our has no health. Unfortunate. Good nano. Yeah. And so we kind of had an opportunity, but we didn't pounce the opportunity enough. Our Domina couldn't. Our Domina pushed as far as she could, and she was forced to drop back. She did fine. She did what she had to. Our Sojourn, I didn't pay attention, but I think the same thing. The problem is just this angle here. The Emre Mercy. This position is just not useful enough. We needed to get somewhere better, and we had the opportunity to, but we didn't take it, and that's going to cost us the fight. Oh, probably. It's not lost yet, but yeah, we're at a disadvantage here for sure. Against a strong team like this, it's gonna take like every ounce of, effort that we have to get us even like an inch of an advantage. And if we get that advantage, we cannot let it slip from our fingers. We need to grab that.
I know the biggest thing that I've noticed playing higher hero lobbies is you have to respect the hit scans and the line of sights a lot more.
Yeah, of course. So here again, we have people on this high ground. We probably don't know the Genji because he's being sneaky, but we need to allocate people to clear them. I like the idea, to be honest, of this. Like I said earlier, if he can go over the wall, it's good. It's cheeky. That's fine. Here, honestly, if the whole team, all the three of these people here, Sojourn, Ana, and Domina, all go in here, if we just kind of walk up this way, fight these guys out, put shield here, drop through, rotate around, do some sneaky stuff, these people move as a team, we could be taking some space from them here effectively, because our Sigma, he's not a character that can really rush in on us and punish a mistake like that. Well, not really saying punish a rotation like that. So we could have gone for one of those long, slow rotations. That's a little bit weird, a little bit out of the box. Will it work? Maybe. Will it not? I don't know. I do like the Emery ult here. We just need people to fight this high ground. I don't know if it needs to be the whole team, but it needs to be at least 2 people.
This ends now.
Now we don't control the angle, so the Genji gets free reign. The Sojourn gets kind of free reign. Oh, how did Alessandro die there? Went over the wall too far.
This ends now.
Just had overcommitted. I mean, he just died so fast.
This ends now.
And there, the Sigma launch us back here. Allow him to start the fight. Imagine the Sigma here. He's kind of playing the same spot he has been the whole time,
Ends now.
but he is not respecting the threat that we present. He's not respecting the Sojourn ult. He's not respecting the Doomfist in his face, and so he's going to take a lot of damage for it. He has to burn all his cooldowns, and he's just stuck out in the open. He's going to die for it. He made a mistake. He just needed to back up earlier. That's all he had to do. He had to go to the high ground, back up, respect the Sojourn ult, get up some space, and lose the fight. He wanted to clean out the space too hard, and he lost for it. Alright, Genji lurking is going to be dangerous for us. We're just going to have to kind of accept the fact that the Genji's behind us. We can't do anything about it now, which we do. So here, in these kind of situations, where we've won this fight, and we're getting ready to take the next one, with a dive tank, I love positioning somewhere in these rooms here. This high ground, you actually can't use it. Well, maybe with Doomfist you can. With Winston you can't use this high ground, because this cover doesn't actually work. They can still shoot you. But you gotta kind of play in the rooms, down around here and up there. Let them know that you exist, that way they're kind of scared, but don't really peek until you get a good opportunity to. And then you're gonna create a scenario where if the Doom's up over here, team's over here, the enemy team's gonna be kind of scared to approach because that's threatening. And you can just kind of use that to take space on a dive character in this kind of map where, like, playing out here, you're just gonna get poked out. You need to be fighting for the angles here. And so I think Jude was concerned about the Genji, which is fair, but we can't allocate as many people backwards for him because now they're going to get easy access to our front line. And he gets out anyways. And now we're on the front line here as Doomfist. We could have been here, a lot more threatening. We could have been up here, a lot more threatening. So we're right here in the Sigma's face. This is where the Sigma wants us as Doom. We are going to go run for it. Unfortunate, we didn't get a cap there. But it was close at least. It was close. This next fight, sorry, this next round, we're on defense now.
Ready.
And I like the positioning. This map is not complicated to defend. You set up on the high ground, you kill people. The tank has a choice of playing the corner or playing up here. Either one can work. It's kind of dependent on what you want, what the enemy comp is. If you're running poke versus poke, playing back here is probably going to be a little bit better because just kind of take advantage of the fact that you guys are long-range characters and have the high ground. Leverage that. Playing up here, it's easier to get forced out after cooldown's wasted. Domina is a little bit too slow to play up here. She can't really retreat like a Sigma can as easily. So I probably prefer this, but this isn't bad either. Let's see how their team is going to attack. Genji, he's doing over-the-wall stuff. Now, is this actually good for Genji? Probably not. He's probably just going to make it work because he's just a better player. But because he has to commit all in, I don't think this is actually the right option. I think this is only good if you can fly over the wall. If you have to actually commit over it, I think it's too dangerous. But he'll probably just make it work because he is, again, just such a higher level player compared to the rest of us. And yeah, makes it work. Meanwhile, the rest of their team here, notice. So, the rest of the team, if we're going to play back, we need to kind of commit to playing back a little bit. So you just kind of give up this space, let them walk through here, but hold the high ground. Either here or up here. This staircase is just a little bit too far forward for the tank if we're playing back because we're too vulnerable to all the different angles. We kind of have cover, so it feels better, but this angle is just so much more control over us, so we're a little bit too close, too easy to get walked on. So if we're going to put back, we got to play here. And this just makes it really easy for the Sigma to just walk in and just overrun us with the Genji. Yeah, simple clean up the rest of them. I'm curious where their Genji's going to set up.
And then this Sigma pushed up to the top of high ground here, and we should have been able to punish the crap out of him. And
You can't actually.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah, but
okay,
he's
his
totally
timing
by
is wrong.
himself.
Yeah. But he's actually he's doing this intelligently. Now his timing, sorry, wrong. His positioning is a little bit wrong. He could do this from here.
Yeah.
Here would be excellent, or here. Essentially, I do this as Winston a ton, especially by Primal.
Yeah.
But there is time pressure on the payload here. Here, because he's right in the front of it, he doesn't really get too much. He could be forced out easily without costing you guys time. But if he was playing here on this kind of angle, the defending team, so you guys here, would have a very difficult choice to make. Do we try and fight the Sigma, but then probably be too late to touch point? Or do we walk past the Sigma to get to the point, but then let him in our backline to kill us? And either option is probably going to lose you the fight. And so playing up here is fine. Where he does it is a little bit wrong, but the idea of it is still right. I think this still will work just because the payload is close enough that, yeah, we can't touch. And we'll see. He lives and we don't touch. Because it's just, that is a good strategy. So that's something to take away as well. Think about that as a tank player or as a flex DPS player, is you can kind of push up when you have time pressure much further than you normally could, because the enemy team would have to pick between killing you or touching the point. So from that game, what are things that we can take away? Name something. Could be small things, could be big things.
I suppose the only thing I can think of is respecting different angles that you aren't normally expecting, like the over-the-wall stuff, but stuff like that.
Kinda. I mean, there were a lot of things we placed some good emphasis on.
No.
Wes, you were going to say something.
You guys are kind of playing a little congested, in my opinion. Which is not terrible for a poke comp, but if they're playing poke, it kind of, especially if they have Sig, it's very like Sig only has to shoot one place, and they only have to peek one angle to really get any value at all.
Yeah. I think that's a good point. That as a poke comp, angles are still important. They still matter. Circuit Royale, yikes for angles, but there were opportunities that we had to take angles that we still declined to do. And it would have been more effective for us. And just kind of understanding what angles are effective too. Anything else that we can take away? Again, it could be large, broad topics. It could be small, narrow topics or just specific interactions.
Well, I think playing on the stairs for any hero, like on that defense spot, I think that's kind of a bad spot. I don't care what hero. Yeah, I think that's a bad spot.
Yeah, it's a little bit too dangerous. If we're going to play back, we got to play on the high ground because it just leaves you too exposed to that
Yeah.
little doorway angle, and it's just too easy for them to walk onto you.
In
Playing on the
that
high ground is
scenario,
better.
I would either play on the high ground or I would even play forward, like on that corner.
Yep,
If you're
those are
gonna
the two
play
spots to
forward,
hold as a
yeah,
tank.
yeah.
Yeah. Other spots, there are other ideas that maybe could work with some characters, like playing on the high ground, kind of behind them.
Yeah.
But I think that's anytime I try it, it just doesn't really work out. You're just too easy to get forced out from there.
Yeah, the only time I ever go on the stairs is sometimes some of the early volleys, like on Zen, or like early orbs, or like early shots. You can take a few shots there, but you shouldn't be staying
Ready for battle.
Hmm. Yeah, there's a couple things I do want you guys to take away as well that weren't listed. Is essentially, I think that this position here is generally speaking bad for both teams. You don't want to defend up here. You don't want to attack from up here. But if there is somebody up here on defense and you're the attacking side, you do want to force them out because you want to prove that it is a mistake by forcing them out. So allocate the necessary people to get them out of there. Understand that this angle is extremely valuable. It's probably the best angle on the whole map for close range characters. Long range characters can kind of do it too, depending on what the comps look like. But putting like a Genji up here is like beautiful, or like a Reaper or something. You want them to walk through here and fight people. And then understanding that when we are attacking, when we win the first fight, having a flex DPS or a dive tank, maybe both, setting up here is going to be great. Again, don't want to peek out too much. Play back here or down here, and then peek out when the opportunity presents itself and fight from there because you're going to kind of create that sort of crossfire, that sort of pincer. You're going to be dangerous for the team to want to walk past you. It should get your payload up to the corner here kind of for free or get you an opportunity to get onto the back line. Oh, and also, if you have the opportunity to fly up around the wall, it's pretty good, but you don't want to commit all the way in to land on the ground because it's a little bit dangerous to get back out. Before we wrap things up, does anybody have any questions?
I'm good.
All right, I think that we can end the recording then.